is one of America's closest allies pulling away? In 2025, Canada and the United States remain deeply connected by geography, trade, and shared history. But beneath the surface, a quiet and significant shift is underway. Today, we break down 10 critical signs that Canada may be distancing itself from the United States. These aren't just political headlines, they are policy decisions, economic moves, and cultural indicators that signal a new direction. Let's dive in. 1. Canada's growing trade diversification. For decades, Canada's economy has been closely tied to the United States. In 2010, over 74% of Canadian exports went to America. By 2025, that number has declined to just under 60%. Why? Because Canada is making a deliberate pivot. Ottawa has signed major trade agreements with the European Union, expanded economic ties with India, and opened new trade discussions with ASEAN and African nations. Despite the growing tension between the US and China, Canada has increased trade with Beijing. Canadian officials insist this isn't about abandoning the US, but rather about reducing economic vulnerability. The message is clear. Canada is actively lessening its dependence on American markets. 2. Defense spending realignment. Canada remains a committed NATO member and a vital NORAD partner. However, in 2025, its defense priorities have clearly shifted. The latest Canadian Defense Review emphasizes Arctic sovereignty, domestic readiness, and deeper cooperation with European allies. Military exercises increasingly involve European partners, while joint operations with US forces have taken a back seat. For the first time, Canadian policymakers are openly questioning participation in US-led missions that fall outside NATO's mandate. While Washington pivots to the Indo-Pacific, Canada is investing more in Arctic patrols, drone surveillance, and northern naval capabilities. This is not isolationism, it's strategic realignment. 3. Energy politics and the pipeline dispute. Energy policy has become a growing source of friction between the two countries. Following the US cancellation of the Keystone XL pipeline and the introduction of strict climate regulations, Alberta and Ottawa have moved to develop export routes that bypass the United States entirely. Canada is investing in infrastructure to ship oil and gas directly to Europe and Asia. Canadian energy leaders are increasingly vocal about US interference in domestic energy decisions. While the US accelerates its green transition, Canada is taking a more pragmatic approach, pursuing renewable energy while still defending its fossil fuel industry. This evolving energy strategy marks a major divergence in priorities. 4. Digital sovereignty and tech policy. 4. Digital sovereignty and tech policy clashes. In 2025, the US has doubled down on banning Chinese apps like TikTok and WeChat, citing national security concerns. Canada, on the other hand, has taken a more measured stance. Instead of outright bans, Canadian lawmakers have introduced strong privacy regulations modeled after Europe's GDPR. Ottawa believes in securing data without stifling innovation or creating unnecessary diplomatic tensions. This difference in strategy has caused quiet friction. US officials see Canada's approach as soft on security, while Canadians see Washington's policies as overly aggressive and politically charged. It's a growing philosophical divide on tech governance and digital rights. 5. Diverging immigration policies. Immigration has become another point of contrast. While the United States has adopted stricter border controls and lowered refugee admissions, Canada has expanded its immigration targets. In 2025, Canada plans to welcome over 500,000 new permanent residents annually. Skilled workers, international students, and refugees are being welcomed at record levels. Canada now frames immigration not as a security issue, but as an economic growth strategy, and the public largely supports this approach. This divergence in values and policy reflects broader differences in how the two nations see their future.